My name is Tina Sifuklelo. I am a mother of two, an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. I'm the co-founder of ReaderLympics. ReaderLympics is a family concept that was started by my family. We went through some challenges with our son, Dumelo, who's 8 years old. We got a report from school in the beginning of the year that he's not doing well at school, he's struggling. And one of the things that we highlighted was reading. We as a family then had to adjust because as we know that our kids watch TV, they play PlayStation, we also live busy lives, we get home late, there's no time really to fit in reading except rushing through the homework. So we then had to change the way we do things because reading was not fun for him. He couldn't read, pronouncing words, skipping words. It affected his confidence, and as parents we had to step in because teachers can only do so much. So we then started changing the way we spend our quality time, incorporated reading as part of it. It was important that he hears us read because you know how children are, they do what we do. So if we don't invest time in reading, then he's not going to invest time in reading. We had to make it a family thing to support him. The little sister who's 2, who can't read, we switch off the TV, we all sit, we read to him, we listen to him read to us, we then correct him in between. But I think the interesting part which brought the Olympics part of it, is that if there was no reward, then there was no activity. It would be difficult for him to say, okay, if I read and finish this, what happens next? I think we need to accept that the rewarding part of it and recognition is important because as parents we tend to tell the children and say do this or else, and that doesn't work.
I need to provide access to as many opportunities as possible, but also I need to give you the freedom when you get to 18 or 21 to be able to say, well, right, I'm going to go and be a magnet, or I'm going to go into business, or I'm going to go into farming.
As a family, we decided, we had to try things differently. So we started reading as a family. We started introducing fun things into reading because we were competing with video games, rather playing with his friends, or even TV, your cartoon characters on television. And, in the beginning, obviously, we had to be quite disciplined in doing it, making the time to do it. And we did it, and a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, he's doing very well at school. He's even reading himself. He reads to us. I mean, when we started, he would struggle through a paragraph. On a good day, on a good night, he can actually read up to 3 books. And he reads to his sister as well, and he's able to tell a story of what he's reading. And his writing has improved at school in terms of his sentence construction. His maths has improved, and he's enjoying school more because he's doing so much better. And we just thought, how many other families have the same kind of problem? And I think, in the back of my mind, when we think now, we used to think the issue of reading is actually a class thing. It's actually not. It's just that it's either people don't have the resources to read. If the people do have the resources, they're just not making the time to read. So it's about highlighting the importance of reading, because to read, it teaches you so much. It teaches you comprehension, it teaches you to write, and we need good writers to capture our history as a country and where you are from. And reading leads to so many other things as well. It exposes you to the world around you, and really that's what this is about. ReaderLympics is about introducing reading to families, to kids, to schools in a fun, engaging, competitive way, so that reading is not associated with just boring, and there's so much more that we are competing against in terms of the way that people consume their content. So it's very important that we introduce an initiative like this and have a collaborative effort to education, because basically that's what we're looking to address. And that's why we started.
Kids are like sponges. They are very eager to learn. It is largely up to us as parents, as uncles, as aunties, and so forth, to ensure that that sponge's needs are satisfied.
When you have a dream, when you have a vision, when you have something that you're reaching towards, it helps you to overcome the challenges that come your way.
we have a whole lot of communities that needs to sit and do this. And the culture should also be inculcated among the parents to sacrifice, they volunteer their time to come and sit and read for their children. We have retired teachers there, we have parents who can assist. Some of the children are staying with their grandparents who are illiterate and will not be able to help them. But all the people in the community who can help, together we can make a difference if we help our children to read and develop.
So I've actually made a decision that I think instead of taking them to bed at 8 o'clock, I'm going to give at least 30 minutes before they go to bed. So 8 o'clock every day is time for us to read as a family.
Well, I push reading a lot generally anyway. So I guess it's just also sharing with other parents as well, seeing other people's views in terms of how they do it, getting new ideas that won't be so boring for the child.